everybody. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. It is another lovely edition of Friday Phil. You all know who the fuck I am. That's right, bitches. I'm back. It's another lovely, lovely Friday. We are here and we're going to talk about so much shit that has come out. Oh my God, we are on day 2 of New York Comic Con. Terrifier is tearing up the box office. Joker Folie à Deux has taken an 81% dip in its second week. James Gunn is revealing a whole bunch of shit about Creature Commandos. The DC Studios merch is on the DC store. And of course, we've all seen that lovely, lovely picture of Superman and the Superman Krypto. All that and more on this episode of Friday Phil, motherfuckers. All right. Let's just get right down to it then, shall we? Man. But you know what? Before that, let's just take a breather. Bask in the fact that it is Friday. Enjoy the fact that this week is over. And if you're at Comic-Con, if you're at New York Comic-Con, fucking good for you. Have a great time. Have a lovely time. Hit all the panels. Meet your favorite cosplayers. Meet your favorite podcasters if they're there. Take plenty of pictures. See all the exclusive stuff. We are going to talk about the stuff that has made its way online here on this very show just here in a bit. And yeah, if you're at New York Comic-Con, just, generally have a good time. I unfortunately was not able to snag a badge for New York Comic Con. As anyone who knows me knows, I live all the way on the West Coast in California. So New York Comic Con may or may not have wound up being in the cards for me anyway. But even still, I'm okay with missing it. I'm okay with sitting back in the chair, watching this stuff roll out, reacting to it in such a fashion as everyone else is choosing to do so if you're not able to make New York Comic Con this weekend. But, hey, we can still talk about it, right? Like we can still talk about all the cool shit that's come out of New York Comic Con. But, before we get to New York Comic Con, actually, no. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. New York Comic Con is happening right now. We are on day 2 of New York Comic Con. And it is just so much shit has already come out in the last 2 days in regards to New York Comic Con. And I have seen so much just reveals for certain comic books and certain other things of New York Comic Con. Like I mentioned, James Gunn's out there promoting Creature Commando stuff. The DC Universe, DC Studios merch is hitting the store. But the very first thing I saw on about New York coming out of New York Comic Con was something not DC related. It was actually something Marvel related, and that was one of 2 things actually. Let me just go ahead and pull it up here. Bear with me, folks. I thought I had this tab open, but I didn't. That's my fault. I could have swore I had a tab open for this shit, but I just didn't. So that again, my fault. Everyone, but speaking of everyone in the chat, let's go ahead and say hi. Who we got showing up here? We got Daryl Taylor. Hey Phil, hope you're doing well, man. We saw some good episodes this week with both Penguin and Agatha. You're absolutely right. You're 100%. Both episodes were top notch, top tier. I agree completely with the Penguin episode focusing mostly on Sophia Falcone, whereas whereas Agatha was very much a Billy centric episode. So, whoops, spoilers. Dalton Bell, who I'm here on time. Yes, sir, you are. We got my boy Ronan in the chat. How's it going, Ronan? Good to see you. Anyway, here is the thing that I saw that was first out of New York Comic Con, and that is, oh my God, I can't fucking believe it. We're doing the thing back in the Ultimates. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Look at this shit. Just look at this shit. On the activity, is this my activity page? No. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Look at this pretty shit right here. Ultimate Wolverine. That's right, folks. Wolverine is back in Ultimate Marvel Comics. And look at him. Look at that fucking sexy outfit. Look at that shit. Look at that. Look at my boy. He's so big and grown and so fucking red and black. Apparently, this version of Wolverine, the Ultimate Wolverine. Let me see if I can pull up the synopsis here. Let me see if I can find this shit. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. The Ultimate Wolverine arrives next year. This is from majorspoilers.com. All right. Ultimate Wolverine will be written by rising star Chris Condon, Texas Blood, Venom War, Daredevil, drawn by Moon Knight powerhouse artist Alessandro Cappuccio. True to the character's origin as a government weapon, Ultimate Wolverine is an unwilling agent of the Maker, the secret creator of this corrupt universe. Mind wiped and used an assassin, he's still the best at what there is at what he does, even if he's not in control of what he has to do. In order to maintain control of the corner of the Maker's world, 3 members of his council, Magic, Colossus, and Omega Red, deploy the most lethal asset, the Winter Soldier. But who is the weapon behind the mask? That is fucking wild. That is so wild and so crazy. Like, when I saw this, I was immediately just like, this is fucking awesome. Straight up, that shit was fucking awesome. I saw that shit and I couldn't fucking help myself. We got Talati in the chat. What's up, Talati? I hope you're doing good, man. But yeah, I saw this Ultimate Wolverine stuff and I was just like, whoa, what is this? Wow, holy shit. This looks dope as fuck. Will I read it day one? Oh, that's a possibility. I might just invest in an issue of Ultimate Wolverine #1. Looks like a ton of fun. Definitely might see myself getting that shit. Faux showsies. But there was also something else I saw straight out of New York Comic Con last night before I went to bed and whatnot. Actually, no, this was like when I was at work when this dropped, and this was even more wild. Was seeing this new Marvel mural, and there's a neat little surprise there that I thought was pretty cool. Where the fuck is it? What the fuck, man? Come on. Come on. There it is. There we go. Here we go. But does they have the full? Okay. Here. I'll pull it up from this cat, Agent M, who is from what this guy works for Marvel. His name is Ryan Penagos, the VP Digital Media and Creative Strategy for Marvel, and he posted this. This looks effing incredible. Check this shit out. So right here, we got a neat little new Marvel logo here. You know, you got Kingpin, you got Daredevil, you got Storm, you got the Human Torch, you got Captain America. Who's that? Who is that? Well, that's fucking Herbie. It's Herbie from the Fantastic Four, everybody. That looks like what Herbie's going to look like in the new Fantastic Four movie. Well, how fucking cool is that, right? How fucking dope titties is that? That's some dope shit right there. Yeah, you got Human Torch above him right there. You got Captain America, Anthony Mackie's Captain America. It looks like we got some of the Thunderbolts right here. It looks like Bucky and Red Guardian, Red Hulk, and I want to say that's probably Florence Pugh. Can I like? No, I guess I can't zoom in on that any further. But you know, you've also got Agatha, Rio Vidal, Billy Maximoff, as has been revealed by the most recent episode of Agatha All Along. We got Captain Carter, the Beyonder. I don't remember the character's name, but also from What If. Are we getting more What If this year? I feel like we might be getting more What If this year. And then these are from the new Marvel game that I don't remember what the name is, but it's a new mobile game, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this shit looks dope as fuck. I wish I was at New York Comic Con so I could see all this cool shit, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. It is what it is. I can't complain. I'm not going to complain. I ain't going to complain. Even though I kind of can, but I'm not going to. No. Anyway, continuing on with New York Comic Con, let's go ahead and take a look at what's on the DC shop as far as DC Studios. Let's go ahead and check this out. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, man. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Look at all this cool shit. Okay, hold on. Let me just pull this shit up for you fellas and ladies. If anyone ladies are watching, check this out. This is on the DC shop. James Gunn made mention of it in a thread post. But, like, you got the DC Studios logo there. You got some of the Creature Commandos. That's pretty cool. You also got a Creature Commando shirt right there. How about that? Look at that. That's pretty cool, right? Who's looking forward to Creature Commandos? Spoilers, I'll be reviewing it for Multiverse Color. Well, that's actually a pretty cool shirt. You know, you got the Bride, Frankenstein, Weasel, Dr. Nandy, Of course, Rick Flag Sr., G.I. Robot, and Dr. Phosphorus, Creature Commandos. I wonder if we might probably see a new trailer from Creature Commandos. Okay, now here's something I definitely am considering getting. The DC logo embroidered hat. Because I want to feel like Kevin Feige, but on the DC side of things. That's what I want to do. I want to wear this DC hat every time I talk about DC shit on this show. I definitely want to invest in one of these hats. Does it come in a different color though? I don't think it does. I pre-order it? I can pre-order it. How about that? Although it's not expected to ship until next month, but whatever. I'll have to. I'm gonna bookmark this because I actually kind of do want. I do want that. I want that hat. Anyway, what else they got? What else do they have on the DC shop? Courtesy of Mr. Jimmy Guns, James Gunn, the man that people either love or hate, depending on how you feel about DC stuff. Black DC shirt, which you can get in blue. You can get in True Royal. Oh, the True Royal XL. What about small? What about medium? I'm a medium. Okay, it's available in medium. I can get it in medium. Do I want to get in asphalt? Do I want to get in white? Maybe I kind of want white, but black would be a good color too, right? Right. All right. We got a DC sweater here as well. Oh, it's even ooh, hey. Why isn't it showing the mug? What the fuck? Why isn't it showing the mug? What the hell? It's not showing the mug. Wasn't showing the mug. Wasn't showing that thing right there. Look at that mug. Look at that fucking cool looking mug. Ain't that thing fucking cool? That thing looks fucking cool. And then we got, of course, the DC Studios. It has DC and DC Studios right there. Navy. True. Okay. Why is True Royal not available in extra small? That's so weird. Oh, whatever. Maybe they don't have it in extra small. Whatever. No big deal, I guess. But we also got the DC Studios. Ooh, I actually kind of like this one. Look at this. I might get that. Oh, look at that. That's cute. I like that. That's real cute. I can get behind that. Okay, will it show me this mug? No! What the hell? It doesn't show any pictures for either one of the mugs. DC, come on. Get your logos in check. Come on. This is website 101. This is URL 101. What the fuck is going on here? I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? Show me the mugs. I want to see those mugs in big glorious glory. I mean, if you even look at my Friday Phil thumbnail, I have that mug, and that wasn't even like the picture that is rooted from. It wasn't even holding a DC mug. I was holding a Batman mug, and it just turned it into a white one, and I put the DC logo on it in a edit. But now I can actually get one, and if I cut my hair, I can maybe like recreate the Friday Phil fucking thumbnail, right? That'd be kind of cool, right? That'd be pretty cool, right? Right?
Get him out of here. Shut the fuck up, fat man. This ain't none of your goddamn business.
Okay, I'll shut the fuck up. Sam L told me to shut the fuck up. I'm going to shut the fuck up. I'm not going to shut the fuck up. This is my show. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, also shown at New York Comic Con was the Batmobile for Absolute Batman. And this will apparently be shown in issue number 2. And oh my God, does this thing look awesome. Let me go ahead and pull up my picture here, because this shit looks fucking incredible. Pull it up on the long screen here. There we go. That's more like it. Look at that fucking thing. Look at this. Look at this fucking monstrosity. Oh my God. It's like Scott Snyder and Frank Dragata looked at the Dark Knight Returns Batmobile and went, okay, hold our beers. Matter of fact, hold the keg. We got this. Look at this fucking thing. It's like a monster truck. It looks like a monster dump truck. And it's just this massive force. I mean, if you need like a 6'5" linebacker Batman, you kind of need like a big enough vehicle for him to get in and out of, right? But holy shit, look at this fucking thing. It's a beast unto itself. I mean, you got this massive giant fucking metal piece on top. You got like some kind of crane fucking piece here, like lights, a bat logo, and giant fucking monster truck logo. When the fuck did Batman have the time to build this thing? Because holy shit. Not only that, like, what does he use it for? I already have my second issue of Absolute Batman pre-ordered and ready to go, but I just need to know now. What the fuck is he going to use this Batmobile for? Whose shit is he fucking up with this thing? Because damn, this is awesome. This is fucking awesome. Matter of fact, this is so fucking awesome. It's this fucking awesome.
This is fucking awesome.
This is fucking awesome. This Batmobile looks doper than shit. I don't even know if I can even call it a Batmobile. It's more like a bat tank or a bat fucking monster truck. It's the monster bat truck. I don't know. But hot damn, this thing looks fucking dope, dude. No joke, no lie. This thing looks fucking savage. I can't wait to fucking see what they do with this. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't fucking wait to see what exactly Batman does with this Batmobile. I can't fucking wait. This thing looks like a straight monstrosity, but in a beautiful way. Oh my God. All right. Keeping in the DC realm of things, James Gunn has clarified the state of DC projects, i.e., let's just go ahead and pull up exactly what he said here. And that is, here we go. Just to clarify, I said everything we originally announced was still in development, not that it's still coming. That all depends on the scripts. We'll never put a half-ass script in production just because it was announced. Well, Jimmy Guns. I admire that. That's a good approach. So that means that everything that is not currently in pre-production, i.e. Superman, Peacemaker Season 2, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Lanterns, they're all in the works. Creature Commander is about to come out as well, obviously. Like, all that's in the works. You know, it's all pre-production, post, whatever level of completion they're at. Those are for sure happening. But stuff like, you know, Paradise Lost, Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, Waller, Brave and the Bold. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one. Am I missing a project? No, I think that's all of them. Those are all the ones I just listed off. Yeah. No, all that stuff, that's all in development. It's in developmental stages. However, that said, we do know that James Mangold is working on Swamp Thing side by side with his project over at Lucasfilm about the first Jedi, the firstborn Jedi, or whatever the hell, that Birth of the Jedi movie, whatever the fuck it is, it's going to end up being. We know that one Mr. Andy Muschietti is directing the Brave and the Bold project featuring the DCU Batman as well as Damian Wayne as Robin. We know that's a for sure thing that is probably going to happen because Batman prints fucking money for DC. We all know this. I just showed you a Batmobile, which will clearly print them money. And there is that halfway confirmed Teen Titans movie that's probably going to happen from the writer who wrote Supergirl. Oh, I know what I just missed. The Authority. There we go. I keep forgetting that that's a thing that's happening because, like, almost nobody talks about that project, like, at all. People are so wrapped up in Lanterns. They're wrapped up in Brave and the Bold. They're hyped for Superman. Almost everyone completely forgets that the fucking Authority is a thing that is happening and it's apparently going to be a movie. And also the fact that a member of the Authority is going to be in Superman. So, yeah. That one just goes over my head every time I think of projects in the DCU that James Gunn's currently working on. I'm just like, oh, right. Yeah, that's a movie that's for sure fucking happening. So, cool beans. Like, you know, if it actually happens, it actually happens. That's dope, I guess. And as far as like that Titans movie, oh, you know what? There is that thing that the Hollywood Reporter put out like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about like a Bane and Deathstroke film that's like rumored to be like a Secret Six movie, which wouldn't at all shock me. James Gunn is a fan of Secret Six. So, there are certain projects I'm sure they're developing at DC Studios. Whether or not they're in super active development, that's an entirely different conversation. But as far as it stands right now, you have Superman, Lanterns, Creature Commandos, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and Peacemaker Season 2. Those are the current 5 things that are for sure in current production and getting ready to ramp up, if not film, if not already filming, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm glad he came out and said some shit like that. That's, good on him. As much as I may be creatively on different ends of the spectrum with James Gunn, I actually appreciate that the guy comes out and does clarify some shit. He plays a lot of good PR for DC, which, let's be real, DC and Warner, well, to a lesser extent, DC, bigger extent, Warner Brothers, they had a fuck awful PR narrative for like the last decade. They were just bad at it. So I'm glad he actually comes out every, week or so and clarifies some shit. He answers questions by fans. He says whether or not something is in the works, et cetera, et cetera. Plays coy when things may or may not be happening, like with the Lanterns casting, when those were not a for sure thing. It's like he didn't say anything until Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre signed on the dotted line and the ink dried up. Like, that's when we knew we were getting our Lanterns. Anyway, speaking of stuff in the DCU and speaking of James Gunn, let's go ahead and talk about this nifty little thing he decided to share. So anyone who's a fan of Krypto, well, you get your wish. James Gunn has shown off the first look at Krypto in Superman, and here is the official image for it. Look at that. Isn't that wholesome? Isn't that just pretty? Superman and Krypto looking out on the Earth, probably from the moon. That's cool, right? That's dope, right? That's pretty fucking cool, right? Like, look, anyone who knows me knows I'm looking at the Superman movie and I'm like, okay, cool. No, I can't lie though. Got to look at this. And I was like, oh, that's wholesome. And I remember I'm pretty sure this is homaging All-Star Superman. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the comic panel he's homaging. It might be from a different one, but I don't quite remember. But here's what he had to say. Krypto arrives on screen in Superman this summer. Krypto was inspired by our dog Ozu, who we adopted shortly after I started writing Superman. Ozu, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 60 other dogs and never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. It took a long time before he would even let us touch him. And look at that. He's even got a photo there of him and Ozu, and Ozu's looking like he's probably going to bite him in the face or something. I don't know. Isn't that cute, though? Then he goes on to say, I remember thinking, gosh, how difficult would life be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus, Krypto came into the script and changed the state of the story as Ozu was changing my life. What better time to debut the not-so-good boy Krypto than Adopt a Shelter Dog Month? By the way, Ozu today is fairly often a very good boy. Well, that's touching. I can't lie. That is very touching. But, on the just reveal of it all, that's cool. Like I'm as kind of ridiculous as the concept is of having a superpowered animal fly with you from Krypton. I mean, it's a thing in the comic. You want to make it like the fucking comic, make it like the fucking comic. More power to you. I'm, no harm, no foul. Okay, we got some other people joining in the chat here. We got Chainsaw saying, "Daddy Phil, how you doing?" Sophie Rose, yes, I am paying attention to the chat, but I'm just kind of going through my usual show. Thank you for coming in. We thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. Krypto is gonna be great. I did see that James Gunn clarified that Krypto will in fact not talk in the movie. Good, because if you would have had a talking alien dog, that might have been a stretch too far for general audiences, in my humble opinion. I don't think they would have bought a talking dog in a live-action Superman movie, as far as I can tell. But that's a really cool. That is a really, really cool image right there. And there's even like a video. I think he even like maybe put together here. Let's see if I can hopefully show it without getting hit with a copyright strike of any kind. Is it moving? Yeah, it's moving. All right, look at that. See, the world's turning. They're just looking. Cape ain't moving, but they're in space. No big deal. But yeah, Krypto joins Superman. Now, it had been rumored, and I think even like he was on a press junket for Guardians, and Chris Pratt like kind of joked with him, like, so I can voice Krypto, right? And Gunn was like, oh yeah, absolutely, or whatever. And that sent the world in a fucking hiss fit. Of course it did. Sent those fans, those crazy fans, in a straight fucking wham fit, as they tend to cry about more often than not. But yeah, that I saw that and I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's neat. What kind of dog is Krypto this time around? I don't know. I know Krypto's actually had a few different, like, he's been drawn in a few different ways as a few different breeds over the years. But that version that they're using for this Superman movie, all right. Man's best friend, more like Superman's best super friend. No? Okay, yeah, no, that didn't land very well. By the way, this image actually prompted me to get into a mode, a video making mode. So be on the lookout. I'm going to be making a video about James Gunn's Superman film in the future. I'm going to outline it here later on today, if sometime over the weekend, and just kind of collect my thoughts in terms of how I want to present this, because I really want to talk about this movie in a like critical way, not having knowing anything about it. I'm not going to address those plot leaks that happened a couple months ago, because there's no substance there personally. But let's see. Braden says, people who complain about the way Krypto looks need to get lives. Exactly. If you're going to complain about the way a fucking dog looks in a comic book movie after seeing a live action raccoon and tree talk, can't really give you any slack there, can I? No. But like, if you're seriously going to complain about the way a dog looks in a movie, I really got nothing for you. Seriously. Like, as far as I can remember, Krypto to me, like the immediate version I can think of, he was always a Labrador retriever of some form. But Krypto's fur was accurate. I mean, yeah, he's been drawn like that in a comic book before. I've seen the panels make the rounds, but there is no one definitive way to draw Krypto, or whatever breed they decide to make him. It's just the fact that he's a white fur dog. So overall, cool. I saw that image of James Gunn sharing his image and the inspiration behind Krypto. So yeah, it was dope. Pretty cool. Oh, I also forgot to mention that this was also shown off in New York Comic Con. I just saw this, keeping in with DC stuff. Share screen. Jeff Lemire has shown off the first look at the cover to Absolute Flash, and this looks very interesting, if I do say so myself. I mean, wow, that is very definitely a different take on the Flash, for sure. Looks more ethereal and very like, possession, supernatural-ish, maybe. I don't know. Looks cool though. I'm excited for that. I saw that and I was like, oh, cool. Good on you, Jeff Lemire. I think he's writing it. Yeah, I think he's writing it. It looks like the artist is Nick Robles by the look of it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for that. Superman definitely, it will be here in, less than 6 months, right? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Okay, I was off 9 months. We got 9 more months till Superman. A little under 9 months until Superman hits the big screen. And you know what? I think James Gunn did say something else too about Superman. Let me see if I can find it. He made a post that I saw that kind of even like tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's see if I can find it. I should have just stayed on his fucking profile. God damn it. Where is it? Oh, well, he also yesterday wished Jerry Siegel happy birthday. Mixed up the names. Accidentally said Joe Siegel instead of Jerry Siegel, i.e., mixing up Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel. And of course, fans probably went rabbing down his throat like, how could you? How dare you mix them up? Ah! So, as fans tend to in their vicious callousness. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what? Maybe he said it not on Threads, but he probably said it in a different social platform because I can't seem to see what he was talking about that made him shed a tear. But anyway, either way, like he mentioned that working on Superman and how close it was to being released was kind of eye-opening for him. And he had a memory flashback to when him and his brother were in the snow and having a good time, et cetera, et cetera. So all good in the hood. James Gunn's Superman in theaters July 11th, 2025. All right. Let's move on over to Marvel. And before I kick off the Marvel talk, I'm going to keep it in the current Marvel talk, but it's lightweight connected to Marvel, but not really. And that's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman very well might host the Oscars. Now, I saw this, I think this was like Tuesday or some shit. Let's see, the 14th. That might have actually been Monday. Yeah, this is Monday. Yeah, this is on Monday. So Deadline put this out. It said the Oscar hunt searches on and Deadpool and Wolverine are in the mix. That time again, the Oscar host hunt is on. Reliable sources tell Deadline that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are in the mix. The plan we hear would be to include them as part of a star ensemble of rotating hosts, each or in pairs, doing a portion of the show per a plan to shake things up. In this regard, Deadline also heard from sources that such stars as Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, and Dwayne Johnson have also been approached. Not really surprising, since it seems Johnson's name is floated every year, but he is for various reasons resisted. And we have heard Poehler's name on the Academy wish list ever since she successfully hosted the Golden Globes with Tina Fey. Having Reynolds and Jackman prominently on the show would make a perfect sense, of course. The pair are the title stars of Deadpool and Wolverine, a summer smash, number 2 of the movie, and that's the number 2 movie of 24 globally with $1.33 billion worldwide, just behind Inside Out 2, not Inside Out, Inside Out 2, which is apparently at $1.69 billion. Wow. The threequel comes from Disney, which also owns ABC, the network airing the 97th Annual Academy Awards on March 2nd. Jackman hosted the universally praised 2009 show produced by Bill Condon and Larry Lamarck, and Reynolds is the kind of personality who seems tailor-made for the gig. It is a no-brainer. Plus, they successfully co-hosted ex-Oscar host Jimmy Kimmel's ABC talk show one night this summer when Kimmel was on vacation. But would they do it? Reliable sources tell Deadline that the outreach is real, but there are mixed signals as to whether the stars are willing to participate. I would guess there is also the question of Disney and Marvel's actual planned Oscar campaign for Deadpool and Wolverine, where I have heard that Ryan Reynolds will be campaigned for lead actor and Jackman for supporting actor. Would they want to commit with that also looming as the awards season to stars take hold? Of course, there are other factors afoot in the Academy, and its producers have been teasing, if not for another hostless Oscar show, as we most recently had in 2019, 2021, 2020, and 2021, the one with more of an emphasis on the select presenters and talent that could also take the weight off the hosts and essentially spread the wealth throughout the show. Rotating host is something that has been done quite a bit in the Oscar show history. The last multiple host format was tried in 2022 with Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes, but all anyone talked about was Will Smith. This one we hear would be different in structure and include the other stars teaming in elevated participation. Deadline also heard about Kevin Hart and Chris Rock as possibilities at one point, but it seems they are not in the mix. Rock hosted the show in 2005 and 2016, and most recently appeared in the 2022 Present Best documentary feature, did a mini monologue that ended with the aforementioned infamous Will Smith slapping incident. Hart stepped down from his announced 2019 Oscar hosting gig after some homophobic tweets resurfaced from his stand-up routine a decade earlier. He made it clear earlier this year that he won't ever host the Oscars when he told Sky News that he thinks the real problem is those gigs aren't good gigs for comics. It's no shot to the Oscars, no shot to the Globes or anything else. Those just aren't comedy-friendly environments anymore. I think they got it right one year where it was like a bunch of personalities acting as the host, and that's a nice thing. It's a collaborative thing. Different people get to be respected for Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, but the days of being room for a comic, those days are done. ABC's late night host, Jimmy Kimmel, has had a successful host of hosting the Oscars in 2017, 2018, 2023, earlier this year for the 4th time. He has declined to return this year, as the amount of time he puts into the job, which he has said only got paid $15,000 to do the first time, is a bit overwhelming for him at this time. The Academy is rather notorious in terms of playing these big players the kinds of salaries that normally would recommend, but he still is getting material out of it for his nightly Jimmy Kimmel Live, as Donald Trump continuously disparages his Oscar hosting as at his political rallies as the worst ever, even recently as last week. 7 months later, Jimmy Kimmel still is feasting on Trump's obsession on his performance, especially when Kimmel decided to read Trump's real-time True Social reactions at the end of the show. There was also a big-time commitment from Molly McNeary, Kimmel's executive producer and wife, as well as his writing staff. Just kind of goes on. The bottom line is here, folks. Will Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman host the Oscars? I mean, hey, it'd be cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it, right? Like, I wouldn't be mad if they hosted the Oscars. Now, campaigning for, best actor and best supporting actor, yeah, why not? I don't see a problem with that. I think it's funny that a lot of other comic book fans are like, no, they're not going to win. Why deny them that opportunity? I don't understand the logic in that kind of mindset. Hope Hugh Jackman wins. Maybe best costume design. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman hosting the Oscars would be funny as fuck, because they are going to be the funniest host. That is correct. They have really great chemistry together. Hugh for sure will win a Golden Globe. I agree. I think a Golden Globe is for sure in his purview, especially after Deadpool and Wolverine. What's going on, man? My friend Chris Evans, him and I actually just did an episode of The Eternal Night, my other podcast that I do, a very Batman-centric podcast, where we talked about Absolute Batman #1. Chris, you missed it, dude. I hope you got the Instagram message I sent you, but shit, dude. They revealed the image of the Absolute Batman Batmobile, and it looks fucking bonkers. It looks beautiful, though, in a fucking monstrous way. I love it. But yeah, if anyone is curious about Absolute Batman #1, if you're kind of on the fence about buying it, or if you want to hear some people talk about it, my friend Chris and I, we did in fact do an episode of The Eternal Night where we break down words are hard today. Issue #1 of Absolute Batman. It's badass. Okay, so you did see it. I'm glad you did see it. I can't believe you have a friend that has the same name as an actor. Yeah. Chris is awesome. Chris is totally Captain America. He's totally the Human Torch. I love my buddy Chris Evans. He's an amazing podcast host and an amazing, host in his own right. He's a host on Gathering of the Geeks. Check that show out every Sunday on YouTube. Just search Gathering of the Geeks or G of the Geeks on X. And he also has a DC podcast with his pals Anthony and Phil Walsh of Phil at the Movies. And Anthony from Tis the Podcast. They host a DC show on their own called DC Unlimited. Search for that in your podcast feed. You guys will have a heck of a time listening to it. But yeah. That going back to Reynolds and Jackman hosting the Oscars. I'd be okay with it. Wouldn't have a problem with it. I would just say that if they wind up campaigning for best lead actor and supporting actor, like my supporting bro here. Thank you for the plugs and love, bro. Of course, brother. I always got you, man. If I am the Deadpool, Chris is my Wolverine to an extent. When his claws come out, you better watch the fuck out. But and as Chris points out here, if he would actually watch the Oscars if they hosted. I think this would actually maybe be the first time I tune into the Oscars if they were to host it. But at the same time, if they even get nominated for lead and supporting actor, like best lead and best supporting actor, I would not at all be opposed to it. I think they both gave some really excellent performances in those movies. Would they actually win though? Well, I guess you'd kind of have to ask yourself, what is the competition this year in terms of movies, right? What would their competition be? The 2024 movie season still isn't done yet. Ridley Scott has the Gladiator movie coming out next month, which comes out the same day as Wicked. If that movie is well received, I could actually see both Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who plays the Wicked Witch of the West. I could see them probably maybe getting nominated, but I don't know for sure. It's definitely going to be an interesting year for the Oscars. That's for sure. Phil, are you getting a copy of Ultimate Wolverine? I will more than likely be in touch with our good pal William at the Sci-Fi Center and see if he can get me a copy of Ultimate Wolverine. I already have a copy of Ultimate Spider-Man courtesy of him, and I actually just picked up the first volume of that Ultimate Spider-Man book by Jonathan Hickman. It was a hell of a fun read. I'm sure I'll probably end up doing the same thing that I did for Ultimate Spider-Man, in that I will maybe likely get the first issue of Ultimate Wolverine and then wait for the trade to hit before I read the rest of the story. I like doing that because I know damn good and well those number ones are going to be worth some money, just like my absolute number one of Batman, which I'm buying a second copy of just so I can get signed by Scott Snyder. Let's see. Dune Part 2 was a movie that you had to see in theaters. I agree. And that was a wonderful watch in theaters. I think that movie, I think Dune could very well also be up in the conversation for the Oscars. Will Ultimate Spider-Man get MJ and Peter together in the 616? I don't really know what relevancy Ultimate Spider-Man would have with MJ and Peter getting together in 616, considering their separate continuities. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Besides that, Marvel editorial, Zeb Wells, all of those guys handling Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man have done a glorious job of just pissing fans off of that book, which is why everyone is flocking to Ultimate Spider-Man, because Jonathan Hickman is listening to what the fans actually want, and he made Peter and MJ a thing, a married couple with kids. So I don't know, but I don't know that the Ultimate book would influence any of that in any capacity. But yeah, as far as like Ultimate Wolverine goes, I see a situation where I'm for sure probably going to pre-order that in some form down the line when it's available. Like I kind of want to own that just for shits and giggles. But as far as Jackman and Reynolds hosting the Oscars, fuck it, let them do it. I don't see an issue with that, like, at all. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Oh, that's right. Dune TV show. There is a new trailer for Dune Prophecy. For anyone wondering why I haven't been doing too many trailer reactions, because there haven't been many, and if there have been, they're from Warner Brothers, and I am not going to deal with that copyright strike bullshit they put everyone through. So I did see that they have a new trailer out for Dune Prophecy. I have yet to watch it. I did also see that there is also a trailer for Netflix's Electric State, directed by the Russo brothers. So I might react to that if I get time this weekend. We'll see. But yeah. Anyway, I think I'm probably going to talk about one more thing before I wrap up the show here. And this thing is actually pretty cool that I think is pretty interesting. And that is also staying on the Marvel family. That is Spider-Man 4. Apparently, Tom Holland and Zendaya have read a draft of the current script for Spider-Man 4. And let's just go ahead and pull up this article from the Hollywood Reporter. Let's see here. Now, let me just also preface this. This is also all predicated from an interview he did with Rich Roll. Yeah, the Rich Roll podcast. So let me just go ahead and break this down. Tom Holland says he read a Spider-Man 4 script with Zendaya, but it needs work. Tom Holland is excited about Spider-Man 4, revealing that he read a draft of the script a few weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, according to him, with co-star and girlfriend Zendaya. However, he recently shared on the Rich Roll podcast that it needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. That doesn't shock me at all. Eric, let's see, it's Eric, Chris Summers and Eric McKenna and Chris Summers. Go ahead and look those two up real quick. I think that's who's writing. I know for sure that that's the same writers from No Way Home and the other two installments. Why did you give me that? Thank you. Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. There we go. Yeah, it's those guys. Those guys are writing Spider-Man 4. Let's see. Last month, the Hollywood Reporter exclusive reported that Destin Daniel Cretton was in talks to direct the fourth installment of the superhero franchise, taking over the reins from director John Watts. One of the things to bear in mind with Marvel is that your film is a small cog in a large machine. Holland explained about the development process of Spider-Man 4. That machine has to keep running, and you need to make sure you can fit into that timeline at the right time to benefit the bigger picture. That's one of the challenges we're facing. The time in which we need to get that done is a tall order, but definitely achievable with the fantastic people we have working on it now. The Crowded Room star added the film's team already has a creative and a pitch and a draft, which is excellent. It needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. Holland continued. I read it 3 weeks ago and it really lit a fire in me. Zendaya and I sat down, read it together, and we at times were bouncing around the living room like this is a real movie worthy of the fans' respect, but there's a few things we need to figure out before we can really get that going, but it's exciting. Holland has played Peter Parker / Spider-Man in 3 standalone films opposite Zendaya's MJ, Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017, Spider-Man Far From Home in 2019, Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021. Then he's also appeared in Avengers Endgame as well as Avengers Infinity War. And it kind of goes on to just reiterate some older quotes about Peter and Tom Holland playing the character. Let's see. Will the script be set in prom and graduation high school? No, I doubt it, because the last movie had them in his senior year, and the movie ended with him in his own apartment doing his GED. So he's likely probably going to be in college. Let's see. Do you think we will see Miles Morales in Spider-Man 4? Braden, I'm glad you actually brought this up, because this was the other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of Spider-Man 4. So let's take a gander at this quote here, because this was also from the same podcast, but this is from a different website that I pulled up. Let's see. I'm going to have to listen to this podcast because I'm very, very curious about it. But quote, this is from Tom Holland, and this is apparently from that same Rich Roll show that he just did. If I'd be lucky enough to somehow bring Miles into my Spider-Man universe and into the MCU, I'd love to do for a young kid what Downey did for me, Holland said. Moreover, the introduction of Miles Morales into the MCU would be a significant milestone for the franchise. Okay, so let's break it down, right? Spider-Man 4. What will that movie be? Well, I don't have any connections at Marvel. Hell, I don't even have any connections at DC Studios. But I would have to guess that Sony, since they are distributors and owners of the Spider-Man film franchise IP, and they hold the rights to said character. But considering they're also in agreement with Marvel Studios to make Spider-Man movies featuring Tom Holland in the title role, as well as bring back Zendaya, and the fact that this script apparently lit a fire in him, he's definitely willing to come back for a 4th movie with this idea that they have. What is that idea? That is the big question. And with Venom: The Last Dance coming out next Friday, or next Thursday rather, and it being symbiote-centric with Null, I don't know. We can see what happens. Will Spider-Man 4 be symbiote-centric? Can't say for sure. I don't know. But I'm kind of with Chris in that I hope it's more street level and less multiverse. I think with a director like Destin Daniel Cretton, you're going to get some really, no pun intended, amazing ground level combat from him, but also you're going to get a pretty sizable story that's very grounded in terms of character and where you take the character. I mean, look at Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Look at what him and Simu did with that character in that movie. And I could easily see a situation where it definitely maybe leans in towards some of the multiversal stuff towards the end. Again, this all really depends on like when this film is going to go into production, like hardcore go into pre-production, if not beginning filming. But the fact that Tom Holland and Zendaya have read a script and they're seemingly really happy with it, but a few kinks need to be worked out, kind of tells me that this thing is a little more far along than we can assume, especially since, again, if Destin Daniel Cretton is signing on to direct the film, like I could see this movie. We very well could be seeing like Spider-Man 4 possibly going into production early next year, like maybe early spring, like, you know, March, April, May, somewhere in there. Now, if Spider-Man 4 were to go into production early next year, that would then position it for release sometime in 2026, and also pretty much guarantee that Spider-Man 4 is part of the Phase 6 slate, because let's not forget, Phase 5 ends with Thunderbolts. Asterix. Thunderbolts is the end of Phase 5. And Fantastic Four kicks off Phase 6. Spider-Man is also notoriously great friends with Johnny Storm. I'm not saying that's a for sure guaranteed thing going to happen between the movies, because obviously Fantastic Four is probably likely taking place in another universe. Spider-Man 4, we know almost next to nothing about it. So I don't know, but I would just say that there are rumors and rumors and rumors about what Spider-Man 4 is, and they've gone back and forth between being Venom-centric and symbiote-centric, all the way down to street level, including Daredevil and Kingpin, like street-centric. I could see a situation where maybe both maybe come into play, like in a certain capacity, because, you know, the third Spider-Man film, No Way Home, it definitely ends with the assumption that the Venom symbiote is in the MCU. However, one of the trailers for Venom: The Last Dance indicates that is not the case. We can never really tell between the Sony Marvel shenanigans that happen between these movies. We can never really be sure. There are heavy rumors that I mean, even Kelly Marcel, who directed Venom: The Last Dance, has indicated that this is not the end of Noel, who is the antagonist or one of the antagonists of Venom: The Last Dance. This is not going to be the end for him. So I'm very curious to know what exactly that means. But again, also, we very well could just see someone else, maybe other than Eddie Brock, get the Venom symbiote attached to them that isn't Peter Parker. I mean, there could be a Flash Thompson out there. There could be, God forbid if they did it, Sony would have the balls. But, you know, if they had Michelle Williams' character, Annie, like her, she Venom, like they could go down that route if they really wanted to. Will they? I don't fucking know. But yeah, you know, I'm with Chris on this one. Daredevil versus symbiote Peter would kill. Yeah, and that's kind of my thought process on it. I was like, you know, if you could have the best of both worlds, and maybe there's like a version where the black symbiote suit does in fact make its way into a fourth Spider-Man movie, and there is like a Daredevil, Devil's Reign-ish, Kingpin is the big bad behind it all, but maybe there's also like some Null presence too. Like, I don't know. The thing with Null that gets kind of fuzzy for me is Null isn't necessarily a Peter Parker Spider-Man villain less than he is a Venom villain. Like, Null was explicitly brought in and laid waste to planet Earth, the Avengers, the whole nine, and latched symbiotes onto everybody, from what I recall. Like, I'm not super versed in the King of Black storyline, but if I'm not mistaken, that's essentially kind of what happened. Like, Null came and had, like, you know, he had the black necro sword. Oh, excuse me. And like, yeah, like there were a bunch of symbiotes on people. I could see them taking an element of that and latching it on to Spider-Man, because again, we haven't seen Spider-Man in a black suit in, let's see, almost 20 years. It'll be almost 20 years, because Spider-Man 3 was in 2007. That was the last time we saw, you know, the Venomized black suit Spider-Man. And honestly, I would really love, this is just fucking fanboying 1000%, but I would really love to see, let's see, open up this image here. Let's see if it's big enough. It is big enough. Perfect. I would love to see the OG black suit Spider-Man suit. I want to see this. This is the suit I want to see. I want the black suit, big white eyes, big white spider, and of course, the white spots on the hands. I need I need this suit in live action. I want to see this version of the Spider-Man suit so bad. I have loved this suit since Spider-Man the Animated Series. I think this is visually one of the prettiest looking Spider-Man suits because of its simplicity. And I would really, really love to see this suit in live action. And even to Chris's point, to take it a step further, I would love to see a venomized black suit Spider-Man face off against Daredevil, because Daredevil is trying to get to Spider-Man, who's kind of going on a fit of rage. I would love to see them fucking throw down. And it would be like a game changer for Daredevil because he's never anticipated something like this. But no joke, no lie, I would love to see the black suit Spider-Man make an appearance. But you have to do something different. You cannot do what Sony did. They kind of dropped the fucking ball there with Spider-Man 3 by trying to shoehorn Venom into the third film. And they kind of rushed that whole concept of just trying to get the Venom symbiote down, latch itself onto Peter, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I want something different. And I feel like if you have Noel, it's going to be shaky. But at the same time, it kind of feels like people are kind of ready to be like, okay, Venom was fun. Can we get black suit Spider-Man and a different version of Venom now? I kind of feel like that's where the conversation is heading, but I don't know. It feels like Sony's kind of really banking on this film and Kraven to maybe make a profit. That way they can kind of justify doing more of these solo villain movies. And if I'm being brutally honest, I think Kraven the Hunter actually might save their ass. Might being the operative word, because I have no idea how well it's going to land with the general audience, because we saw what happened with Madam Web. Granted, came out after the fact that Madam Web was a complete and total shit show behind the scenes. And, you know, the actors signed on for a completely different movie that was ended up being made. It was almost like Green Lantern all over again. This time the entire cast got it. Well, the entire cast did get affected. But yeah, I hope that J.C. Chandor and Aaron Johnson, I really hope that they did not suffer the same kind of meddlesome bullshit that S.J. Clarkson and Dakota Johnson and everyone on Madam Web dealt with that film. I really do hope that they were just allowed a little bit more creativity and loose freedom to do what they wanted with Kraven. And honestly, they got an R-rated Kraven movie. Kraven's going to fight the fucking Rhino. I can't lie. I think the movie's going to be kind of cool. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I'm not saying it's going to like perform superbly well, but if it does, I'll be surprised. And I'm not rooting for Kraven to fail. I wasn't rooting for Madam Web to fail. And then I walked out of that movie going, God damn it, Sony. And I really don't want to walk out of Kraven feeling the same way. Venom: The Last Dance, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know how I feel about that movie, because on one hand, I like Venom and I like Tom Hardy and I like that version of Eddie Brock. But on the other hand, the quality of those movies, they genuinely speak for themselves. I like the first one a lot. They dropped the ball with Carnage. And this film, I'm like, well, fuck it. There's a venomized horse in it. How bad can it really be? But I don't know. You know, time will tell. And I have more faith. Let me put it to you this way. I have more faith in Eric Summers and Chris McKenna to handle a fourth Spider-Man movie than I do all of Sony dealing with their Sony universe of Marvel characters that don't include Spider-Man, even though they're rooted from Spider-Man. But I will say I am looking forward to Spider-Man Noir on Amazon. That'll be cool. The Venom films are the Fast and Furious movies of the comic book genre. You know what, Chris? That is a great analogy for the Venom films. They aren't great. They're not exactly terrible either. Do you have fun watching them? Are you entertained? To me, yes, I am. And that's an astonishing feat, because you didn't even need Spider-Man to make these films happen. So that in and of itself is pretty interesting. Captain America is a future mentor to Spider-Man. I can see Anthony Mackie's Captain America maybe being a mentor, but considering that Peter's now kind of a grown-ass man, I don't necessarily think he needs a mentor now. I think he can absolutely fit into that mentorial role. Spider-Man, we are finally doing the fourth one. Correct. Scarlet Witch Return? That's a tough one. That is a very, very tough question. Here's how I'll answer that, Omega Swiper. I think that the Wanda Maximoff in Multiverse of Madness will not show back up. Unless they do some, fucking timey-wimey or Mephisto Soul Trade nonsense. Maybe. Maybe that's how that version comes back. I can absolutely see a scenario where Wanda from World 838, who took out the Illuminati and still has her twin boys, you can see a situation where she pops up. But I can't say for sure. Agatha all along, they just did an episode that was predominantly centered around Billy Kaplan, aka Billy Maximoff. So that was also cool. And I don't know. I would love to see Scarlet Witch come back, especially for something like a Secret Wars or maybe even a Doomsday. But I don't know that she'll be in Avengers Doomsday. I would make a stronger case for anyone you miss and who is currently dead or no longer in their title role, having a better shot of showing up in Secret Wars than Avengers Doomsday. Because Secret Wars is where all the shit smashes together and all the characters come to play and everyone has to face off against Doctor Doom. I think Avengers Doomsday is going to be very much more centered around the Fantastic Four coming into the MCU and meeting the new Avengers that are going to be formed, maybe by the end of either Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts, and being like, hey, there's a guy from our universe. His name is Victor Von Doom. He is like the baddest of bad, and he's going to do some fucking evil shit where he's going to be the one that fucking rules all. And that's when the new Avengers, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of posit my roster here for who the new Avengers are. It's going to be Captain America, Sam Wilson, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, probably Rocket and Groot to some extent because they're still in contact with Brie Larson after, during Endgame and after. I would also maybe more than likely Spider-Man. I would be fucking shocked if Spider-Man was not in Avengers Doomsday. I would genuinely be fucking shocked if Spider-Man was not in Avengers Doomsday, because I feel like if you're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back in as Doctor Doom and he's the villain in that movie, you kind of need Tom Holland's Peter Parker to be like, oh fuck, it's evil Tony Stark. You need that reaction from people. I would also probably guess Shuri's Black Panther, Shang-Chi's going to be there as well, and some of the other TV show characters like Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. Maybe they might show up, but they might have like a more lesser supporting role, if I had to guess truly. But I do think that the main roster of the Avengers is going to be Sam Wilson's Captain America, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and Shuri. That's who I'm guessing is going to be a part of the Avengers roster. You maybe could throw in Sentry there from Thunderbolts too, but I can't say for sure. I don't know. But yeah, but as far as Scarlet Witch returning, I would bank more on a Secret Wars cameo than I would an Avengers Doomsday or even like a Agatha All Along cameo. We might see something in the Vision series, like maybe new footage, but I can't say for sure. Like I genuinely don't know. I do know that Elizabeth Olsen does want to come back. I know that she is totally game to play Scarlet Witch for as long as she needs to. What's going on, Drogo? I hope you're doing well, man. Anyway, that is kind of all I have for this week of Friday Phil. I don't really think there was too much. Let me just go ahead and refresh my timeline, see if anything else was announced from New York Comic Con in the time we've been online talking shit here. Oh, actually, here we go. Wow. Just saw a response from James Gunn. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and share this. We're going to talk about this for a little bit. Just a bit. Not too long. All right, let's see. James Gunn literally just answered this question right here. All right, so if you guys can't read that, I know it's a little difficult, but this DC Geek House, this is on Threads, asked James Gunn, when creating the DCU Batman story, do you have conversations with Matt Reeves so that both you don't use the same villains or stories and so that each version of Batman feels different from the other? James Gunn responds, Matt's Batman is part of DC Studios, not the DCU, so of course he tells me what's up. So that's kind of a non-answer, but that's also kind of a confirming kind of answer in a way, in that, yeah, they clearly have conversations to, make sure that there is no overlap in terms of story, in terms of usage of villains, in terms of, the grander thing that Matt Reeves is doing, and the thing that James Gunn wants to do with that version of Batman in the DCU. Because obviously Batman in the DCU is going to be vastly different than what Matt Reeves is cooking, because, Batman's going to be Bat Dad. He's going to have Damian Wayne as his Robin, and the Bat family will be present. So there's going to be some clear differences, but I can also imagine that they are having conversations about which villain's going to pop up where, and who could or would want to use who and when. So that's cool. That was a nice refresher, definitely. I don't see anything else here though, but yeah. Oh, you know what? There was one other thing that I had, and it's box office related. Completely just kind of going off on a way different tangent. And that would be Terrifier 3 owning the box office. Oh, I can't type today. Let's see. Did I not have it? I guess I must have not had it saved. Damn it. It's from the Hollywood Reporter. Oh, wait, no, I can just go to Hollywood Reporter. Ah, damn you. I can't type today, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. There we go. View all. Where is the... I had it. I should have put the link in my notes, and I just totally forgot to do that. I am a bum this week, guys. I'm sorry. Why is my shit not clicking? Like, there we go. This is the Heat Vision blog. It should be under Heat Vision. At least I think it's under Heat Vision. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Got it. Finally got it. All right. I'm going to read through this, then we're definitely going to sign off for the evening. All right. Terrifier 3 not clowning around. How the uber gruesome pick upended the movie rating system. In the history of making movies, the uber gruesome indie slasher pick, Terrifier 3, took out a Hollywood institution in one fell swoop, the movie rating system. Filmmaker Damien Leone's threequel stunned the town when opening to $18.9 million over the October 11th to 13th weekend, despite being unrated before the pandemic. Few movie theaters would book a title that didn't have a rating because of strict limits on TV advertising, among other things. Times have changed. Terrifier 3 was able to secure a berth in 2,513 cinemas. It is well on its way to becoming the top-grossing unrated film of all time domestically, against a minuscule budget of $2 million and barely any marketing spent on the part of Chris McGurk's Cineverse Corps, which released the movie. Between COVID and the historic 2023 labor strikes, the box office calendar is still in an agitated state of flux. Most exhibitors weren't going to refuse to play what they knew was a sure bet, particularly after Joker Folie à Deux crashed and burned a week prior. Terrifier 3 was the movie fanboys wanted Joker to be, says one top studio marketer of the films, which both centered on villainous clowns. It's also the second unrated film to open number one after Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, which debuted to $21.8 million in early December of 2023, on its way to topping out at $33.9 million domestically. It didn't have time to go through the rating process, but it was a concert doc, and people, particularly parents, knew what to expect. Terrifier 3 had plenty of time, but it didn't even try to get a rating, meaning it didn't have to comply with any rules laid out by the Classification Administration, the CARA, which administers the voluntary rating systems on behalf of the Motion Picture Association and the National Association of Theater Owners. And had it been submitted, it risked receiving an NC-17 rating, meaning that no one 17 or younger could buy a ticket, period. The Hollywood Reporter has learned that theaters carrying the film, including the three biggest circuits, AMC, Cinemark, and Regal, are treating Terrifier 3 as if it were an R-rated film and trying to turn away anyone who is 17 or younger if they weren't accompanied by a parent or guardian. Two distribution sources noted that the weekend, DreamWorks Animation Universal's The Wild Robot saw a noticeable bump, speculated that teenagers and tweens bought tickets to that film in order to sneak into Terrifier 3. The same trend continued on Monday's Indigenous Peoples Day holiday. The scary part is that we've seen a lot of screenshots of people bringing their kids to the movie. Notes another source of the film, which pushes the boundaries to excess, including starting off with a child being murdered off screen and a scene of genital mutilation. That does in fact happen in the film, I can confirm. The four major Hollywood movie studios, Disney, Paramount, Sony, and WB, could have never pulled off what Cineverse accomplished. As members of the MPA, they must submit their films to the ratings board. Amazon, MGM Studios, and Netflix are also members. If a film is submitted to the CARA but ultimately decides to go out unrated, it still has to adhere to CARA's advertising rules, which prohibit a broadcast from carrying an ad for an unrated film and limited trailer play. In the early 2000s, Hollywood studios and the voluntary rating systems were called out by Congress after a blistering report issue by the Federal Trade Commission concluding that some studios were actively promoting R-rated films to youngsters. The MPA chief, Jack Valenti, alongside NATO, updated the ratings system as a way of appeasing lawmakers, including providing additional descriptors as to why a movie received the rating that it did. The marketing rules were also tightened. Cineverse is primarily a digital marketing and brand content venture. It has more than 30 streaming channels that attract 80 million monthly viewers. McGurk, a Hollywood studio veteran, says that the company is now upping its theatrical presence. He says only $500,000 was spent marketing Terrifier 3 because of the company's vast footprint in the horror space, including Bloody Disgusting, a go-to website for horror fanatics. On top of its streaming channels, Cineverse has a network of 40 podcasts. All told, the promotion on Cineverse's properties likely equal $5 million to $10 million in media value, McGurk estimated. The company released 2 trailers, one nice and one naughty. The latter was a red band trailer. Most exhibitors opted for the nice or green band trailer. McGurk estimated he had been involved in the release of 500 films over his career, but says he has never seen anything like this. I've never had a movie where the actual out-of-pocket marketing spend to box office has been this ratio. It's just off the charts, says, crediting the success to a different approach to finding an audience and leveraging everything except national media. The ultra-low budget first Terrifier did not get a theatrical launch. Terrifier 2 did in 2022. However, its debut in the far fewer locations than the threequel at 770 cinemas, and many locations only provided one showtime in the evening and refused to play it on Sundays. There's also something here that they are expecting. Let's see. McGurk said he expected the $250,000 budget Terrifier 2 to be a one-weekend event, then go quickly to digital. But run was extended based on demand, ultimately played in more than 1,500 theaters and grossed $10 million domestically, which more than justified the heftier $2 million budget sequel, or for the threequel. We didn't have a problem getting the screens we got this time. Exhibitors knew the film was going to do business based on advanced ticket sales, social media trends, and tracking. We knew it was going to do well, but we didn't imagine it was going to do this. He adds, you're dealing with an unknown animal because people hadn't seen an unrated movie tracking like this. The execs believe Terrifier 3 set at Christmas will play through the year-end holiday and is plotting a special Christmas Eve event. It does go on to talk about the end of the film, so I'm not going to say anything more regarding that. But that film was doper than shit. I loved it. And there is also another horror movie coming out this weekend. That is Smile 2. I will hopefully be able to see that tomorrow. But yeah, Terrifier 3 is just fucking dominating the box office on a $2 million budget. It's already made like 18 something million dollars. Let's see if it's made any more. What is Terrifier 3 up to right now? What is Terrifier 3 at currently via Box Office Mojo? Oh, fuck. Wow. No shit. Okay, domestically, the movie, according to Box Office Mojo, as of today, has made $26,907,151 million domestically. Internationally, has made $5,360,455 for a worldwide total of $32,267,606 million. $32.2 million. Oh my God, on a $2 million budget. That is fucking crazy. Terrifier 4 is happening. That I can assure you. But honestly, like, props to Damien Leone, props to everyone, props to Lauren Lavera, props to Daniel Howard Thornton, like everyone involved with that movie. Congratulations. Keep the Terrifier train going. Go see that movie if you already have it, because that movie is all sorts of wicked. But if you can't handle gore, don't go see it. Seriously, if you're squeamish, I don't recommend seeing that movie. That said, I think this is actually a great spot to cut it out for the evening. As you all know, you guys can follow me on the socials down there, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Just search for Unfiltered. I really also need to add a Vero logo there because I am there as well. And you guys can listen to my other podcast, The Eternal Night Show, which I do with my longtime friend Craig, that I recently again mentioned. Like, I had my friend Chris on. We talked about Absolute Batman. If you guys are Batman fans, give that show a follow. Feel free to look at my past trailer reactions as well as some of the movie reviews I've done. They're on this YouTube channel. And as I just mentioned, said YouTube channel, do me that big favor, do the thing. Just, do that. Do that thing. hit that like and subscribe button. Greatly appreciated. Gets the show noticed. Helps me out. Gets the channel to grow. Would really appreciate it. But until next time, folks, until next Friday, I am signing off. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Go see Terrifier. Go see Smile 2. Go see Joker if you're curious. Just, keep supporting those movie theaters. But as always, take care. Stay safe.